here, just do nothing all day.
Yeah. What's the weather like out
JK,
there? What's the weather like out there?
ass. How about you?
Cold and
Yeah,
shitty.
it's cold. Yeah, it was fun. Yesterday was warm. Today, all of a sudden, like, holy crap! Woke up to our front yard being frozen, and I was like, I don't like this.
Yeah, we had a couple mixes of 50-degree days, but it's been mostly 30s and 20s and some teens here. So
Yeesh. That was us last week, but looks like this week, I guess we're back to being cold. Honestly, I I'm thinking maybe I'm gonna call up Tony Baker. Maybe get myself a store down in Tampa. Just settle down.
Speaking of the devil himself.
get you some holy fry.
Yeah, give me some holy fry on a daily basis. I'll be all right.
Uh,
Well, you can't do a Holy Fry sponsor without eating Holy Fry.
that's
Bro,
right.
I'm down to do it. I'll advertise every day. I just need
That's a
a
that's a
you
po'
know
boy.
that's a po' boy, all right.
Mhm.
What you got in there? Shrimp? I mean, obviously, but like, what kind of a sauce you got?
I don't even know. All I know, that shit tastes good.
Yeah, spoken like a true boss.
I'll, I'll try. I'll let the chef think about what the ingredients are. I
There we
let my
go.
stomach think about how it tastes.
So next week's round table is we invite your chef, and he just spills the beans, man.
Hell no.
Looking for the recipe. That's right. The Bush's
Mhm.
baked beans.
Let me let me get my
No,
light
it's
in
that
here.
store brand, baby. It's not Bush's. Come on,
What?
it's name brand. That's great value.
Uh, got me wanting to eat now.
Yeah, I'm kind of hungry all of a sudden.
Nice little milkshake or something there.
No, that's a pina colada.
Oh,
Ooh, damn! You're living in Florida when you're having a pina colada on December 12th. Oh
like
man,
That's a
alcoholic pina colada or a
no,
no,
non-alcoholic?
it's
Okay.
virgin.
it's
Like how I like them.
oh my gosh. I was waiting for
Uh,
that. Oh, jeez.
Are we in the groups yet?
yeah, we're live. We're good.
Damn, I was gonna take a bite. I was
Tony's
gonna
like,
take a
I was
bite,
just
but I'm gonna turn the camera off for a minute.
Yeah, you might turn into a meme if you get a good pose going there. Somebody screenshots it. I'm
at
sure
this
we can
point we
make it look
gotta.
like he's eating something different than a sandwich.
Oh my gosh. I mean, it won't take that long anymore now that we got these pictures. Just upload it into Grok, and we're good,
Yep,
bro.
yep. Grok can't look at images though.
Oh yeah, I can't yet. I don't. Chat GPT kind of does, but it doesn't know what the hell it's looking at.
No.
Like it's bad. I've tried it a few times. I've given it just text, no images, and it's like as if it was deciphering some damn hieroglyphics or something.
Some are okay sometimes, but others it's not. I've seen some people say the Bing one's pretty decent.
I have heard a lot about that. Haven't tried it yet. I made my
Oh,
first AI generated post the other day, and it wasn't absolute trash. So I was like, huh. It only took like half an hour, but I'm like, I'm not doing this again. I'm like, no, not we ain't there yet.
yeah. Welcome, Dustin. This guy's showing up on his phone.
Damn.
I try to show up once a month, you know.
He's probably not even working, bro.
I'm not, man. I'm in the Christmas holiday. I'm done for the
Ooh.
year. No, I'm just kidding.
Dan, what's your last name, Baker?
Wow.
What was that?
What's your last name, Baker?
Wow. Deleting.
Screenshot.
I already got that screenshot, Tony. It's too
Yeah.
late. I'm making a meme now.
Oh my gosh.
You just
He's
gotta
he's
scroll back on the live
photoshopping.
anyways.
Yeah, right. He's gonna Photoshop Destina's face on you,
Yeah.
or her dress rather, actually.
Well, we'll see if
Are you
Jason
guys going to
joins in next
Miami?
minute. Yeah.
Hell yeah, that'll be a good time.
Yeah, I'm excited because I don't have to get on a freaking airplane.
Oh my gosh.
Still, what, 5? 5 months from now, May.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
seems like
gonna probably
forever.
drive down. I'm gonna probably pick up Stuart, or I don't know. I'm gonna drive down though. It'd be fun. Probably take like a few people with me. It's gonna be nice not having to pay for a bunch of flights. Oh my gosh.
Here I am. I'm done.
Are you wearing a turtleneck right now? What?
Yes, I am.
Dude, we live in Florida. It's not that
Uh,
cold.
It's 39 degrees, Dustin.
Oh
It
my
was
gosh.
39 degrees this morning.
Damn, for you guys too?
Yeah, it was 39. I also have a big ass jacket too, like a suit jacket on. Not now, but bro, when it hits 50 in Florida, that means it's snowing.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
all
So
right, well,
39 is kind of like one of those days that happens once or twice a year that we feel like we just came from the North Pole.
I guess let's get rolling. Tony wanted to talk about stores failing. A couple of people voted in the group to talk about marketing, and I think those can kind of go hand in hand a little bit. So, I was hoping Jason Bain would join. I always like hearing what he does. He still stays consistent with his marketing efforts and always has since he started. So maybe he'll join soon. Tony, I want you to kick it off on your idea of why are stores closing and failing, though.
You know how they say commercial properties or anything like houses or anything like that, they go location, location, location. I think a retail store goes hand to hand with salesman, salesman, salesman.
Hmm.
So it really is the person behind the counter, 100%. Um, in specifically in our industry. I've worked in other industries where location matters, and you can just put a robot behind the counter and it's done deal. You know what I mean? But in our industry, in our the wireless industry, not just the cell phone repair business, I'm talking about Metro, like carriers, Boost Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, and all these carriers. It is the salesman, 100%. Um, I've actually seen this firsthand just in the past maybe 3 years since we started franchising. Um, under my umbrella with just an ownership without an operator, stores were doing, for example, $30,000. You know what I mean? And once it's been sold to a franchisee, literally within the first or second month, you're talking about a 60 a $70,000 store. So it's more of a double. It's at least 70-80% increase within the first or second month. It happened just recently at one of my franchisees that was purchased about 3 months ago. As of today, it's his second month or third month, and he already doubled the sales. Um, and he came from he was an employee at a cell phone shop, came from an industry, or a different state, totally different way of operation. And he just followed the blueprint that we've made, which is pretty common, So every customer that comes to your door is a potential customer, you know what I mean? Not a potential friend. He is a potential customer. So a lot of people get sidetracked of building, a friendship, not relationship. You got to understand there's a difference between friendships and relationships. Relationships is I'm with 100%. That's how you network. That's how you build your empire. Friendship is what are you doing tonight? Can we go to a bar? Whatever, you know what I mean? And you forget about closing the sale and then you get busy with try to make a friend, and that happens a lot when you're either a new owner or an employee. So that destroys the value of your store because you're spending too much time with every customer. That there is other customers that walk in that wants to be in and out, and they're never going to come back to you after what they saw spending 30-40 minutes with a customer. I'm one of those customers. I like to be in and out.
Yeah, I'm the same. I definitely agree. I think that there's definitely a lot. more to it, but it's like you said, the salesman. That's what is happening in the stores is directly affiliated with that, right? Like if your sales are down or your numbers are down, look at where everything starts. It's starting with that first person they're talking to and interacting with when they walk in, right? It's
Yeah.
not always related to anything to do with the repair, the price, or anything. It could just be a bad experience with the person. They just don't like them, or they don't feel like they're getting treated well, or that person could be having a bad day. And, there's just so many different factors. So, yeah, I mean, it's crazy to think that your front desk is technically, your closer whenever you feel like they're just there to intake something and, take down simple information. You don't really picture them as like they're the person who's really there to take care of the customer and sell them on getting that case or getting that tempered glass or whatever it may be to make sure that they're doing everything they can to maximize that interaction with that customer.
I will disagree with Tony on the location though. Location definitely does matter. Maybe not as much as other industries, but I mean, I was the when I first moved to Florida, the company that hired me, Geekmatics, opened up a location for me, and I was there for a year, and we had maybe one walk-in, two walk-ins a week, and doing advertising like constantly. It was just so horrible. And then they moved me to a different location, and we're killing it. And so I definitely location does matter. I wouldn't just write that off.
No, I did not. I did not go against location, but it really plays a huge role. If you want to call it 99.9% of the sales goes based on the salesman. I'll give you an example. I was like you for the past maybe 15 years, Dustin. And when business was all good and sales was all good, and we were all happy making money without, with and not even just that, we were happy with the employees that we had at that time, 2015, 14, 13, 12. There were different human beings, not like what we have now. So we were saying 100% location because we had good employees at that time, and even if we flipped them, we still would have good employees. But since COVID happened, I have, and my locations, I have prime locations, standalone buildings, 3,000 square feet building that's painted white and green with lightning all over the place. It looks like a star on ground. And to my surprise, some of my best locations are and were doing horrible until I started flipping employees. And yes, I'm with you, locations does matter, but at this moment, 99.9%, I think whoever behind the counter is the closer. You know what
Yeah,
I
I
mean?
agree on that. I'm gonna add one thing going back just a second before we continue on location. Josh said something interesting. It's like when business slows down, what I notice a lot of shops don't do is they don't really dissect what happened. They just kind of complain. Like a lot of guys who go in the groups and, hey, are you guys slow too? And they're never asking the important question, which is, has my foot traffic slowed down? If it has, what's the percentage? Like, what's the ratio, right? Are we getting less phone calls? Are we getting less? What's our website traffic? Like, okay, last month we did 10,000 more. That's, let's say, hypothetically, 30% more business. Have we seen a 30% drop in traffic, or give or take? No one seems to talk about that. And I could almost guarantee most shops, it's not because of a lack of traffic, but it's because the person behind the counter or the person answering the phone is dropping the ball. 100%, right? Customer calls in, hey, how much to fix my iPhone? What kind? Okay, 109. And they pause and they stop and they go, okay, thanks, bye. Click. And it's like you just lost, over the span of 5, 6 years, that customer is probably going to be worth $1,000 to you on average, right? Between repeat business, referrals, like you just dropped $1,000 transaction because you were too damn lazy. And it's
Yeah,
like,
100%.
and employees, like I get they have bad days, but if you're an owner, like you cannot afford to be that guy. You have to be on your A game. And if you're not on your A game all the time, then then you got to figure that out. That's a whole different thing. But that's more important than location. I would say figure that out first before you start thinking, hey, where do I have to go and increase my rent $1, $2, $3,000, spend $20,000 remodeling my store, signing a 5-year lease? Like, well, before you do that, why don't you figure out why this location isn't at its maximum capacity. Is there anything you can do outside of location first? Because that's your easiest, fastest, cheapest solution first. Start there, and then you can look at location if you maximize your current location.
I think I start with if anybody's watching, I would recommend to write this down. Um, I would start, when customers call me, like Tony said, they call complain about the sales and what are we doing wrong? The first questions that I asked, and number one, do you have a demo phone for your store? Do you have a store phone that has Facebook offer up and whatever, Craigslist, whatever, if it's still work in your area, shit, let it be. So do you have a demo phone? Number two, have you posted on OfferUp and Facebook Marketplace? A lot of them says no, they never did. Well, it doesn't cost you anything. So number three, do you offer unlocks? You've probably seen the post I made yesterday. Funny to say, I've gotten few hundred unlocks and maybe 50 new customers because of that post that I've made yesterday about the $20 unlock. So did it get people attention? Yes, it did. Now, was that the target? No, it wasn't. But it was a $20 unlock that a lot of stores didn't even offer it in their store, and they were either turning away these customers or they weren't even buying back those Samsung devices. So yes, now you can buy Samsung devices with a Google account for half off or $20 or $50. And then yes, you can remove the Google account off of that phone for $20. So now you just added buying back, or you enhanced your buying back, and you added unlocks into your business. I'm pretty sure unlock would add at least $2,000, and I don't want to exaggerate.
Shameless plug.
Huh?
Said shameless plug.
Well, no. This is like real talk, because a lot of people do not do offer unlocks. So if you're adding unlocks to your business, that's $2,000. And what Josh was saying, they haven't exceeded, their option in its industry. Number three, financing. That is not plug. I'm just stating the facts. Financing. Do you do finance? Oh man, I don't know how it works. I don't like doing it. We only got two people in the store. You know what I mean? That adds up. That could make your day from $700 to a $2,000 day just with one finance. So those prepaid payments, ePay or QPay or some of these carrier payments, you are not paying $1 to have that tab on your computer. It's, just like you're opening a tab to watch a YouTube video, have a tab that accepts a payment. It doesn't cost you anything. They give you 8% commission, I think, on the payments, and a residual for an activation that was made at your store. Does that add another 1,000 or two at the end of the month? Absolutely. So now you're talking about, hey, I'm doing $70,000 a month in sales, but I'm only doing $10,000 profit, because you have a pretty good market, but you're pushing a lot of cash and you're giving a lot of discounts and you're not ending up with a lot of profit. But with the right tools on that $70,000 store, you're upselling your sales, your phone sales, from a $800 sale to a $1,200 sale. You're probably maximizing it to a $100,000 store, and now you're probably making $50,000 profit, because now you don't even have to give discounts, because it's not your money and it's not their money. People are just coming here and they have a credit card or consider as a store credit of $2,000, and they just want to blow it. It's not your problem.
One thing you said that kind of like it bugs me about how I hear this every single day when guys are like, it's a different story when you're already like busy and you have a pretty established business, but guys would be like, oh, how do we make more money? It's slow, nothing to do, twiddling my thumbs. And then you'd say everything you just said there, finance, prepaid, this and that. And they're like, well, I have an ethical or a moral problem with financing and I hate prepaid. Like, well, those are your options. like, like if you're broke and you're trying not to be broke, and you constantly keep listening to people who have multiple stores who are doing millions of dollars a year in business, you're like, I don't like it.
So
There's
the
no
question
other
is, what is
answer.
rock bottom to you? What is
it's
rock
like that
bottom?
meme. It's the meme that says, something about like the crackhead. If the crackhead's always able to find money for crack, like there's no excuse
Yeah.
for you. Like it's if you want it bad enough, you're gonna find a way to do it. And I think that's like you're saying, Tony, is like rock bottom. Like at what point do you decide you're willing to do things that you said you'd never do? And it's not, and like I don't think it's about morals or ethics or anything, right? Like I think it's a matter of
It's not.
you're offering a service for a specific, demographic, right? Like it's not like you're targeting these people. Like they choose to do it. Like you're not holding anything to them and be like, hey, you guys have to finance this. And like I don't know. I think there's just more to it. I'm Don't get me wrong, there's probably people out there taking way bigger advantage of being
Oh, for
predatory
sure.
about selling something for way, like what we saw in the console, era where it's like, people were selling them for 500 more than the
Good
retail
times.
on top of it, right? Like that's a different scenario, but that's not like common. That's not something that stores are doing right now. And
No.
like if they are, maybe doing a little, less to the extent of what it was then, right? So
Well, you
I
know what
think
is
there's
Okay.
different
common?
ways to look at it.
What is common is the customer walks into your store, they have an iPhone 14 Pro Max, they probably got it for $0 or $10 a month or whatever, right, from their carrier. They break it. They have a $350, $400 bill. They don't have it. They got $100 to their name and they get paid in 6 days. That's way more like we can all relate to this. We hear this crap every damn day. You have customers coming in every day, they're short two, $300, and then you try to like tell me with a straight face, well, I don't ethically feel right or morally feel right financing them something. No, dude, you're offering them a solution. You don't have to charge them up the ass, but make $100, make $150. But if you're very, very diligent, saying, hey, you get 101 or 90 days interest free. If you pay this off in 90 days, you're going to pay whatever it is, a $20 fee. Now, fair warning, if you pay in 91 days, yeah, you're going to be taken behind the shed, bent over backwards. So please be careful and pay it off within 90 days. If you did that, you did your job. Like you couldn't do anything more ethical, in my opinion. Like instead, you're going to let them go to the guy down the street who's not going to tell them about 90 days. And he's going to be like, oh, bro, it's only $17 a week for 36. But like that's the guy you're letting them go to. Like you can do the right thing and still make your money. And now you got a happy customer who, I mean, I don't know about everyone else, but I know I can guarantee you Tony has seen this. You have those types of customers who come back a day later with like two friends and a cousin and a brother. Hey, they all want an iPhone 15 too. Like we've had $10,000 days like that. Like during COVID, they're like, bro, all my cousins want phones
Oh, my
because we treated them.
kinfolks.
Yeah, my
They come
kids
at
need
me, they
phones.
say, oh, my kinfolks.
Yep. Yeah, because my kids are using iPhone 7s. You know what? Let me get them a new phone. All because you did your job. But like, if you're gonna sit there and just complain about it being slow, like, dude, no one here can help you. Like, if you're not willing to listen, like, you gotta. That's our options. If you don't like those options, then I don't know. I mean, there's really not a whole lot more you can do in this industry other than go do another industry.
And
Well,
that's probably
you're
where
on the database too.
go ahead, Nathan. Go ahead.
Oh no, I was going to say, and if you're complaining that you're slow, what are you doing to leverage your database? And
Exactly.
if you're not leveraging your database, why not? Why aren't you getting the customer's name, phone number, email address, physical address? And if you sell them a phone, why don't you call them a year, 2 years later and say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
I know I sold you this iPhone 7 3 years ago. I have a great deal on this iPhone 14. How about you
Yep.
come in? We can swap it out.
Nate, dude, nail on the head. You know what's depressing to me? Like, shameless plug about what I do for a living. I would say 70% of our clients, I'm just saying, but like I would say 70 plus percent of our customers don't collect emails at all, period. Like they're like, hey, can you import my customer list? I'm like, where's the emails? We don't ask. I'm like, dude, you have 18,000 customers with like 300 emails. You just like, I want to, I don't tell them. I'm like, you just like self-destructed your business. Like
Yeah.
over all these years.
I mean,
I've
we
met
have, I mean, we have, shoot, just underneath drip marketing, and I have customers coming back all the time, where they do, free annual computer tune-ups or an anniversary email
Yep.
where when I create a customer, every year they're going to be sent a happy anniversary email. Here's a 20% discount. Here's a 10% discount.
Brilliant. I love that.
Customers
Yeah.
coming in actually use that. And not only that, but what are, one of the things that I found very important is not just going out into the community and doing referral visits with others or with cell phone carriers, but going out to other businesses, joining your local chamber of commerce, actually build those relationships. Because I mean, I don't know if you guys saw my post, and unfortunately, nobody in the group was able to help, but I was able to find somebody to help me close on 30 iPads, which is also going to turn into 50 gaming computers by the end of this month.
Hell
So
yeah.
I got paid for, $7,000 for iPads today, and by at the beginning of the year, about 50,000 in computers. You know, going taking the time to build those relationships, do that training, talking with your sales team up front, adding additional services that bring that value. Like, how many people in here actually sell a rush fee to their customer?
Right
You know,
here.
we do
$75.
yep, $75 for phones and $100 for computers. And that's
Yeah, I
one of
love
the
it.
metrics that we track and we talk about during our daily huddles is, hey, how are we doing on our rush fees? You know,
Wait, what's
it
a daily huddle?
that's the silly thing. All you have to do is ask. Like, say, hey,
Yeah.
look, hey, Josh, you got two options, man. You can either, we're gonna check it in, it's gonna take 2 to 3 days, or listen, I can get you a quote within 24 hours for this extra money. Which route do you want to take? Shoot, let's do the rush all day.
Yeah.
My technicians hate rushes because of course they have to stop what they're doing and take care of it, but you know, it's still something that they offer.
Do you pay them a commission on a rush fee?
I do. Yep,
Yeah,
10%.
that was awesome. Nice.
Do 10% off of a rush fee. Um, there's practically nothing that we don't commission. I mean, we even commission our team to do we give them a production bonus, which is it's a like a 3.5. They have to meet at least 3.5x their base, and if they hit that goal in 1 week, then they get like an extra 2.5% of the total amount. And then if they do that 2 weeks in a row, it's like 5%. So they have ample amount of money to earn. And creating a standard, what we've done is created a standard of, hey, this is our basic recommendations for every type of repair, whether it's a computer repair. How much RAM do they have? Do they have the newest NVMe? What's the life of their current one? Do they have a
Right.
battery? Things that a lot of people might be like, oh, we're just trying to pull money out of the customer. Well, if you constantly look at it like that, then you're never going to make money because you're either afraid that people are going to think that you're just trying to squeeze every nickel and dime out of them, when the reality is, if you actually sit down and build out a list of things that are going to create value for the customer and in a manner that improves the quality of life of their device, then that is where you get more buy-in, because now the team is bought in. They're like, hey, we know that in order for a customer to be satisfied with their iPhone battery, it needs to be above 80%. In order for them to have a good experience with that. Okay, let's write that down, 80%. To help mitigate the risk of them breaking their screen again, screen protector. Okay, well, which screen protectors have we tested as a company? Not just Tony going to California and seeing at an expo this amazing screen protector, and now he's just shoving it down his team's throat. Like, doing some actual R&D with your team to get their buy-in to say, hey, what product should we sell to our customers? Which one do we believe in as a team is going to provide the most value?
Can I address the elephant in the room? So if you are slow and you're broke and you got no customers and you're open 10 to 7 and you don't do finance and you don't do prepaid and you don't do repairs and you don't do full sales, what the fuck are you doing in your free time? Like, do you watch movies in your free time at work? So that's the question that I want to ask is, if you're not doing finance and you're complaining that it's slow, what is keeping you busy from doing those extra things? So it becomes to a point where that means you don't want to do it. You're just a complainer and you just want to sit there and you like the attention of, it's slow. Who else is slow? And maybe you'll give yourself an excuse that you are slow and you blame the price of devices being very expensive. You blame the part companies of having aftermarket parts, and you blame the customers for being assholes, and you're blame like you're there may be something wrong with you if you're just, you know, that guy who sits there and just complain and you don't do any of these things. So what are you doing during the day? You know what I mean? That's where you have to look into as a store owner, is there's something that's either taking your attention out of your store, or you just got too comfortable. And I think if you really got too comfortable, you know, try to reach to somebody who's in this industry that does mentoring, you know, or give you motivation speech, whatever it is, you know what I mean? Whatever it is that gets you up and pump you up, you really have to look for it. Because if you do care about your business, if you don't care, it is what it is.
I
Damn,
think
Tony called
You know
me
what it
out.
is, Tony, is they're content. They're content having a job. They're not,
yeah.
they think they're building a business, but the reality is they're not. I can't tell you how many companies have approached us to buy them out, and we're looking at their, we're trying to look at their books, and all they really have is a glorified job. They're not in it to really build or grow anything, and then they're complaining because they're not able to grow, but yet they want to focus on repairs versus getting out there, building those relationships, doing those sales, building that training. And
You know,
it's pretty interesting.
what's nuts to me about all this, because there's different paths forward, right? Everyone's different. I think you guys are both kind of saying the same thing in one sense of it comes down to the individual, right? If you have employees and if your team is failing, that's your fault. It's not theirs. You as the leader, it's your fault. You suck. That's just the reality. You're making mistakes. Figure out what those mistakes are, right? What the tone that you set, the environment that you set, it affects everyone around you. You come to work, feeling and talking about how you feel like you're scamming customers because, other shops that, charge $30 for screen protectors are scammers. And so you got to give them away for free. Guess what? Your staff's never going to sell them because you feel like it's a scam. If you start talking about financing is a scam and auto insurance is a scam and prepaid sucks, guess what? Your employees are going to be the exact same way. And then when you ask more out of them, it's like, well, how can you ask more when you yourself aren't even doing half of, like, so go back several years, go back 4 years, I think, when I was still 4 or 5 years ago, I was a solar operator. At one point in my life, not saying this to brag. Yeah, exactly right, Jason. $40. Hell yeah. At one point in my life, I had worked so hard. I was doing 12, 13 hours a day, 6 days a week. I had peak. I did $73,000 in a month by myself in repair and sales, single handedly, solo. And so when guys go, "Oh, I got 3 employees and we're struggling, we're struggling at 25K." I'm like, "What? You guys are on your ass half the day. There's no way you can't keep up. There's no way you're busy with doing less than 10,000 per employee per month, unless you're doing repairs for like $10 a repair. In that case, you're just no, you're lying. Like, you're lazy. So identify where the hell you're going wrong and fix it. If you got employees, you're a bad leader. If you don't have employees, then you're not working hard enough. Like, you should, if you've been in this industry for more than a year, if you can't do 99% of screen swaps in 10 minutes or less, let's be real, you're slacking. Like, give or take 10, 15 minutes. If it takes you more than 30 minutes to do an iPhone 11 screen repair today, I'm sorry, you're lazy. Like, just at least start there. But like, I don't know, I've just seen so many owners complain about their employees or complain about their freaking customers. We have a store that's in the bottom 5 zip code in average income in the U.S. That store still has it's had $40,000 months, and that store has sold $40 screen protectors in the 5th poorest zip code in the U.S. People are like, "Oh, my customers would never pay." Bull crap. It's a mindset thing. It's like like, you're not going to walk into a Ferrari dealership and buy a Ferrari. Yeah. So, what are you going to mock, every Ferrari dealership? "Oh, that's ridiculous. No one will ever buy that vehicle." Well, there's people that'll pay. There's people that'll scrap together money. And so there are people that are willing to pay $40 for a screen protector. How does Verizon sell $60 screen protectors at a 200% attachment rate? Right? 200% attachment rate.
Yep. I was just about to say those customers are the same ones that are walking into Verizon paying $60 for a screen protector, or heck, going to Rent-A-Center or Aaron's.
Yep.
And using the same type of financing that we could offer.
And they don't even install it. They don't even install the screen
Exactly.
protector anymore. They just give you a box and go, all right, thanks. That'll be $60. That's crazy. And here you can install it for them and you can tell them, right? I'll make sure there's no dust, no bubbles. Again, it's just, yeah, I think there's a combination of laziness. And I think, Nathan, you hit the nail on the head. They bought themselves a job. They make a few grand a month. They're happy. But it's like, if you're happy with it, then don't complain. But don't sit there in the groups to go, oh, is anyone else slow when you're not doing anything? Like, get off your ass and work.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing, you know, and just a couple of pieces of advice. You know, one of the things that we started doing a couple of years ago, you know, recommendation from a business coach is really figure out where you want to go in like a 3 year time span. You know, don't look 10 to 20 years out. You know, we're all pipe dreamers and we'll always disappoint ourselves. But if we set realistic goals and say, hey, in 3 years, this is where the business is going to be. Okay, in order for the business to be there, what do we have to do in, you know, 3, 2, 1 years? And then based off of that, let's break that down into quarters and then focus in on a team as a team to figure out how to get there. But not only that, figure out what metrics you want to drive your business. Figure out what you need as far as your KPI, your trends, you know, how much you want to spend on marketing, which is going to give you X amount of ROI, how much you expect your team to be producing in order to justify their payroll. You know, because at the end of the day, we all enjoy being able to provide jobs to those around us. And if you surround yourself with a solid team, like I feel like I have, you know, it's really hard to feel like, you know, you may or may not have to let somebody go. Like that's a lot of weight on your shoulders. But at the end of the day, if that's the direction that you want to take your business, then figuring out, okay, well, how does this individual need to contribute to the business? What are their key performance indicators? You know, what are the things that they're being held accountable to? What are the metrics that are going to help drive the needle and make adjustments? And then if they're not doing it, you know, having those coaching sessions with them, actually taking the time. Like the boring shit that I absolutely hate is the management work, like doing the call review, you know, looking over the historical tickets to see did my guy upload his diagnostic report from Ad Central or whatever. Are they actually going through the processes that I set up? And if not, then I need to retrain them. And that's the hard work is not the most fun. You know, I love now. Don't get me wrong. I do have time in my schedule for sales and everything else because I'm that's my give back is through sales. But when it comes to everything else, you know, the biggest thing is the boring shit. You know, do you think I like sitting in the office with the door closed for 2 to 3 hours listening to phone calls? Fuck no. I'd rather be on the phone trying to get people in the door. But if I get hit by a bus, what the hell is that going to do for the team? Business still has to keep moving. So if I don't prepare them for when Nathan gets hit by the bus, then what the fuck am I doing here?
Yeah. Just to go with that, I think more people could focus on trying to focus or trying to hire a salesperson. Try to hire, or at least someone charismatic, someone that can talk. And if you focus on only hiring techs who all kind of have a little bit of an introverted personality and are not great at talking to people, that's not really someone you want answering a phone and greeting every single person that walks in. You're better off hiring someone who's charismatic and you can teach how to turn a screwdriver. But trying to teach an introvert, or rather, maybe not just introvert, but just a really good tech, teach them how to be an expert at sales, infinitely harder than get a salesperson. Hey, here's how you turn some screws. Here's how you put in this little isesamo. Boom, pop the screen open. Like you can train that. There, you see videos on YouTube, 12-year-old kids fixing phones. Like that's trainable. So I would, yeah, like I would at least do that. Too many people would try to focus. Oh, I need to hire a technician and then teach them how to do micro soldering. Like, hold on, let's start selling screen protectors first. Let's start selling cases.
Was that question in the group was why this what is it, why the stores are failing? Is it because people don't know how to sell, right? That was that was the subject on the group. I think you're right, Tony, is when people, you know, you need a salesperson. I've went into stores where the store rings and the employee has a uniform of the business name, and then when they pick up the phone, they would say hello, instead of such and such cell phone repair, whatever, right? And then they would, the customer finishes with them, and the customer say, okay, thank you. The customer says that, and they're like, hangs up. Like it is just zero personality, zero. In my opinion, it's zero respect. That's the way I look at it. But let's just consider it as zero personality. So when you got someone like this that works for you, I think you really need to kick him out because it brings a negative vibe and a negative atmosphere into your business. And I think I'm a big believer into the vibe, the personality. If I hire this person and the store goes from like 1,500 a day to like 300 a day, that person got to go. It's just I don't know. I believe in the soul that if people are just sometimes they're just not the right person. They come in sometimes. A lot of employees be looking at your money as if you sold $1,000 phone. They
You made a
thought
thousand
you just
dollars.
made $1,000. Instead, you just paid Tony $850 to sell $1,000 phone, and you made 150 bucks, which doesn't even cover the employee's payroll. You got rent, you got electricity, you got. So that $100 doesn't cover nothing. A minimum store expense is at least $600 a day. If not, I would say between 450 to $600 a day. The idea of a lot of employees don't understand how that works is you really have to make $500 a day in profit to break even. So you have to sell at least $1,800 a day to cover your $500 expenses. Now, if you sold $1,800 a day, you are still broke. You're just even. You just paid the landlord his money. So you have to sell way above that for you to cover your payroll, the rent, and the expenses, and then you have the extra money. The extra money is what makes you a store owner. A lot of people get this twisted is I make $5,000 a month. No, you don't. That's your payroll. You don't make $5,000. If you come and work for me, I will pay you $5,000 a month. So you're just an employee. So when a lot of people, average or value their stores are like, oh, it makes 5,000. No, it doesn't. It's even. It breaks even every single month. Take yourself out of the store, put an employee. You don't make shit. He makes $5,000. So that makes you not making
Broke.
shit.
I'm gonna disagree with you on one thing though.
Uh,
Disagree on there is when you said if the employees are answering a phone with no care, it's disrespectful. But who's to blame? I can almost guarantee you 98% of the people that would ever listen to this podcast, this video, do not have a sales script for their staff.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah, one thing I wrote down here was
where's the script?
basically like there we've talked a lot about like yeah, if you have the wrong person in there, you got to get them out. Sometimes the wrong person is the owner
Mm.
and it's the manager, and they're rotating through employees saying like it's so hard to find a good person. It's so hard to find trustworthy people that know how to talk to people. Well, that's part of your job is to groom that person to become the type of person that you want running your store. And if you're constantly just looking for the right person and not spending the time, like Nathan was saying, to like go through some of those painstaking procedures of like reviewing what they're doing and actually having those tough conversations and being willing to coach them versus just saying like, hey, you're doing it wrong and I've told you you're doing it wrong. Like, are you actually sitting there with them and doing role playing and showing them what good looks like? So one of the things that I do with my team, and I do this with everybody that starts, is we do secret shopping. And it's not to get prices from other competitors. It's not to get, any of that stuff, but it's basically we have a whole list of questions that the employee is looking for when they're calling these other places. And prior to that, we do our customer service training to show them what good looks like. And then I have them call 10 other stores. And I've called other stores that are in the CPRST group just for fun. And we've had some pretty rough scenarios. And it's exactly like Tony was saying. You get people that answer the phone and they say, phone repair. And that's
Hmm.
it. They don't say like,
You
hey,
know what
thanks
I
for
hate the
calling, blah blah
most,
blah. And
Jason? I
yeah.
hate the you have called. Oh, please press one to contact.
It's the
Oh
worst
yeah,
thing
that
ever.
that makes no sense. I would
Let me
hang up
tell you this,
immediately.
whoever you are, bitch, you're not Best Buy.
Yeah.
It's so many people. I'll call shops as clients and I'll call my clients at their shop, and it's even worse. I'll get a hello, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
I didn't realize I called your personal phone, man.
And then these people are complaining when customers call and they say, "Hi, do you guys fix phones?" And they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh,
Right.
do you guys fix
Yeah.
phone?" Well, maybe you
Of
should
course
answer
they
your
fix
phone a
phones.
little bit better.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah,
blows my mind that people are even
that
bothered
smart
by that. Like,
reply kills me too.
yeah,
I mean, come on,
Yeah.
man. You look, you're like they're not in your industry. The reason they're calling you because that's all they know. They don't know better. So if
yeah,
someone says, "Do you fix phones?" Like, don't become an asshole. It's your fucking store.
yes.
Just
It's
take
your
Be
their
money.
grateful
money.
that they
Who
picked up the
cares,
phone and found your phone number and they actually reached out to you. Who cares what they ask when they call you? You are lucky that they called you and not somebody else.
Absolutely.
Right. You
I
should
don't
be
care
happy
what
they
they say
called you,
when they're on the
right?
phone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like,
So yeah, we look for a ton of things. We like the first thing I put on there is like, what is their tone of voice? Do they sound like they enjoy their job? Do they sound like they're happy to be there? Do they ask you clarifying questions? So we intentionally call and we say, "Hi, do you guys fix phones?" And we wait to
mm,
see what their response is.
yep.
And if they say like, "Oh yeah, we do," like, "What kind of phone do you have?" Boom, that's a green check mark. If they're like, "Yes, we do," that's a
Right.
red check mark because they didn't ask any qualifying questions. "Oh yeah, I have a broken screen." Okay, well, you have to tell me what kind of phone it is. Like people actually respond to people like that over the phone. And if that's the kind of script that you have, or that's the kind of customer service that you're providing, those people hang up and they'll call the next place that has a great tone of voice. They sound genuinely interested in the caller. And those are all things that we look for because we've had people call us. We provide a quote, 179, we're at iPhone 12 right now. They'll call another place and be like, "Oh, they're at $100, but you guys just sounded like you know what you're talking about. You sound so much more knowledgeable and like nicer. So I just decided to come to you guys." So we're able to
I
charge
know.
almost double
Yeah.
the price just because we gave them such a better experience over the phone.
I
And
tried
100%.
then
replying back. Go ahead, Jason.
I mean, yeah, again, it comes down to that, and back to what Tony was saying. So many shops we would call and we would say, "Okay, well, how much for an iPhone 10 screen?" 129. Okay, thanks, and we will respond, "Okay, thanks," because that's the most common response that you're gonna get from a customer. How do they deal with that? Are they asking again more open-ended questions to try to get you to come into the store, or are they just saying, "All right, thanks, bye"? And 90% of the shops that we called, they wouldn't ask any qualifying questions after that. They would not ask for the sale. That's another thing that we put on there. Are you actually asking for the sale? Which looks
Hmm.
like, what time did you want to come in? Did you want to get this fixed today? Do you want me to hold on to a screen for you? And we almost never hold on to screens, but we'll write a customer's name on a post-it note and put it on the screen. If they don't show up that
Right.
day, we'll just take the post-it note off. But if they do happen to come in, you're like, "Scott, right? Oh yeah, cool." You're making that connection of that conversation that you had over the phone. You're doing everything right to build that relationship with that customer. But if you're just like, "Yeah, we do that repair," okay, thanks, and then you're hanging up, that's a huge red flag. You're letting tons of customers go. You're not giving yourself the opportunity to ask them, like, "Are you shopping around based on price right now?" "Oh yeah, I am." "Oh, okay, cool. What are you looking to get the phone fixed for, trade-in, or are you looking to keep the phone for a little bit longer?" Yeah, I just
That's
need
the
to
number
trade it
one
in."
question right there.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so we ask that question almost every time. But like the number one roadblock is if you hear someone say, "Okay, thanks," after you give a price, they probably had an issue with price. If the customer never asks you for a price, we don't give the price over the phone because that means they're coming in. So if they call
Yeah.
and say, "Hey, do you guys fix iPhone 10 screens?" "Oh yeah, we do. We provide a lifetime warranty. So if you have any issues, blah 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 blah." "Okay, cool. Thanks a lot." That means they're coming in. They didn't ask for the price. They liked your candor over the phone, so they're just going to come in. So you don't have to barter with them on price. But if they say, "Oh, okay, thanks," boom, price is probably an issue for them. "Okay, well, were you just shopping around? What kind of prices did you find?" "Yeah, I found an iPhone 12 for $90." "Okay, great. Yeah, they might be using a different quality screen. We do have LCDs also. If that's something you're looking for, we can get you into one of those. We're at 99 for those right now. We still price it higher, even though they gave us a lower price. And if they're like, 'Oh, okay, 99, that's not bad. Sure, yeah, I'll come in.' You can still beat your competitors' pricing. And when I say beat, I mean actually make more money because that to me is beating them, um, and get them to come in. But it's about those conversations that you're having. And then the other thing I was going to say, you guys were talking about basically shopping for a customer on their behalf. And this is something I learned when I was working at Best Buy, is like, you don't shop for a customer with your wallet and your budget. You allow the customer to make a decision. So you give the options that you have available and help them make a decision that fits their needs based on what they value. So we had data recovery is something I talked about a lot on previous calls. So many shops are scared to offer data recovery because of the price alone. You have Jesse, you have EFX, you have Dustin out there that are charging 350 for data recovery B2B, and you're like, oh, how am I supposed to make any money off of that? Dude, look at Drive Savers. They're charging 1250 like as a minimum for most of these data recovery services, and you're undercutting them by 50% if you offer it at $500 or $600, and you're still making $150, $200, $250 on top of what your B2B vendor is charging, probably getting it back in half the time. And all you have to do is send out that drive, wait for it to come back, or send out that device, wait for it to come back, transfer it to the customer's other device, and you're good to go. There's like very minimal involvement. And so many so many shop owners or whatever are afraid to tell the customer that it's $6.99 for data recovery because they've never sold something at that sticker price before, and they think they're just like raping a customer. But it's not that at all. And again, you're providing a huge value to these people who will otherwise do a Google search, find a data recovery company that's paying hundreds of thousands of dollars in ads and has to make that money back somehow. So they're charging $1,200, $3,000, $4,000 for data recovery, and they're paying them eventually. So
Exactly. And just to add on to that is you just offer the service. If you're not offering the customer a solution, they're going to find a solution elsewhere. So you
yeah,
need to find the solution, whether it's you or somebody else, and you still make money, then yeah, just offer the solution. And I've had that same conversation with so many clients. It's like, oh, my client's never going to go for that price. It's like, well, you haven't even talked to the
not with that
client yet.
attitude. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's the other thing. A lot of people use negative talk, and we use positive talk here. So we try not to even use the words no or unfortunately or but. We say things just like, yeah, we can offer you data recovery services. For this one, it's $6.99. You already paid the $49 diagnostic fee, so that does get credited toward your repair. So it's going to be $550 if you want to get that done.
Justin, can you turn on your camera, bro? I gotta see you when you talk.
All right, hold on.
But yeah, a lot of people say
I'm
like,
not dressed appropriately. No.
oh, geez.
You never dressed appropriately. It's okay.
He dresses.
Let me take this wig off real quick. Give me a minute.
But really, Jason, whatever Jason just said was very, very important. And I can't stress this enough. Why are you shopping with your money? Shop with the customer's money. Let me ask a question. If you're making $500 on a, does it matter if you're making $500 on a $7,000 transaction? If the customer is paying the $7,500, what is it to you? You know what I mean? If the customer is paying $1,500, what is it to you? You're making $500 either way. You know what I mean? So don't shop with your own, with your own money. Not even just that, with your own, a lot of us are
Mentality.
store owners. A lot of us are got where we at because we have a dream or we have a vision. You know what I mean? So I would say we worked hard for our money. We're very picky when it comes to spending it, and we want to make sure where every dollar goes. So if you're trying to buy an A-grade device, for example, which the reason why I brought this up, because this is like the biggest issues in the used phone industry, where a lot of store owners want to buy a A-grade device. Of course, they want it for C-grade price, but A-grade phones do cost more. So you're going to say, well, I don't have any much room to make profit on this device. Well, because you are buying the A-grade device. If you're buying C-grade, for example, or B-grade, there's at least a $30 to $50 difference, some at 20, some 40, depends on the model, that you can actually make. So between an A-grade or A plus to a B-grade, there's at least a $30 to a $50 window that you can make extra in profit. And in some scenarios, if you were a good salesman, to go back and circle at the salespeople, if you were a good salesman, you would sell a tempered glass the minute you sell the phone. How much does tempered glass cost? Like 40 cents, 50 cents. So you just made $50 profit by investing into a 50-cent transaction. Even if you got to give it away to the customer, you just made $50. but you're not confident enough into pushing the sale, and that's why you want a grade device that doesn't have no scratches on it because your insecurities and you're not confident enough to push that sale. And that's what happens the most is devices sells itself. The colors sells itself. Apple don't even do no advertisement. They just come out here once a year and they said it's bigger and it's better and it's, it's stronger or whatever. It's faster. And we're still buying it.
So I actually have a question about someone said something about using the word unfortunately. I actually realized I did that today with a customer. They called for an S20 or Ultra screen repair, and I did use the word
Yep,
unfortunately
yep.
pricing it because we use OEM pretty much only, and we really don't have much pushback. But the older models, I have a hard time charging 270 for an OEM screen on, an older
Or a Note
phone. I
10.
feel bad about it.
I mean, there's nothing to feel bad about. The parts cost what they cost. You're not like you're not going above and beyond and marking it up 200, 300%. Like the parts cost what they cost and you're getting good quality parts. And again, you allow the customer to make that decision. But by having that, and I was going to go back to this, by having that negative talk, you're already preparing to let down the customer. So you're saying like, hey, how much is a Note 10 screen replacement? Let me look that up for you. Okay, so unfortunately, these parts are still pretty expensive. So it looks like the parts are going for $200 and we charge $79. You're bringing them down. That whole sentence right there. So they're now thinking like, oh, this isn't worth the repair, and that's not your decision to make. It's the customer's decision to make. Same thing with
Mhm.
data recovery, same thing with a $30 screen protector or a $10 screen protector. You just present the facts. You present the facts of what the services are that you offer, and then you allow the customer to speak. And then you can discuss whether it's too expensive or whether you can budge on price or whether
So
you
if
need to
the
make
car is
some.
$80,000, what are we supposed to do like when we sell a car?
Yeah, at the
You know,
dealership, they're not going. Unfortunately, Ferraris are
it's a
very
lot of
expensive
money.
right
Don't
now.
buy it. Like come on.
Yeah,
Hey, your budget is different than their budget. Everyone's
exactly.
but I have $2,000 in my pocket and I want to blow it. It's none of your. I don't want to hear your feedback. Your feedback.
Yep.
Oh, it's 349. You want to get it done right now? Let's go ahead and make it happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because all
If
they're gonna do is hear that oh, it's expensive. Let me call three more places then. If this guy's saying expensive, I'll just keep calling three more places until I find one that's cheaper. But if you just give the price, oh yeah, Note 10, looks like we're at 279 right now. That does come with a lifetime warranty. So if you have any issues with the screen, you can always bring it back. Did you want to get that done today? That's it. The facts are the facts. Like it doesn't hurt you to offer the service at the end
Like
of the
imagine
day.
going to a restaurant and the waiter goes,
Unfortunately,
I
the filet
wouldn't, I
mignon.
wouldn't, no, no, I wouldn't want to eat here. I wouldn't want to eat here. It's too expensive.
Exactly.
Right. Yeah.
Further
Yes,
down the
that is
street,
what
they
you're
have the
doing. Yeah.
filet mignon for $30. Here it's
Yeah.
No, worse.
$110.
Yeah. You go to a nice steakhouse. What you would have paid $15 at the grocery store, they're going to charge you 300. Do they feel bad? No, you pay. Why do you pay? And you probably could make it better at home yourself, to be honest. In all reality, you could probably do a better job. So, like, you got these restaurants that will have that 1,000% markup, but then here you are feeling bad about making $100 on something you have to pay $200 to get the part. You might have to eat a defective part because God knows a broken transit. Like, come on, let's be real. Or you have an employee that breaks a $300 screen. Like that happens. You
Tony,
have to
it
have them make,
happened to
make
me
enough
when we
money.
were in Vegas. I was trying to buy a cigar that I usually pay $18 for. We
Yeah, they
walked
got your ass,
around
bro.
Vegas Strip and we went to David's Hoff. I bought the same goddamn cigar that I paid $18 for. I paid $115 for. And I
You know,
bought it.
you know
You
why you
made
can
the
afford it?
cigar
Because you
that
charge
bad,
good
bro.
prices.
Like you're like 115, whatever. That
It's
Well,
Vegas,
every
baby.
guy was
look.
like, he was like, "Are you sure this cigar is really expensive?"
Well,
Right?
he didn't even
Literally.
think twice about charging me. Get the hell out. Well, I'm in Vegas. He's on the it's
Yeah.
on the strip. And it's a weekend. So if I'm there, then I want it.
That's
So
gonna
Yeah.
be that's gonna be GRE in Miami, guys. Miami is like Vegas when it comes to prices on stuff. So
Yeah,
we'll be
they're
crying
raking.
whenever
I
it's
feel you.
$20 beers and stuff like that. So
Yeah,
That's why I'm hanging out with GSM Warehouse in Miami. Don't you worry.
well, if you go to park your car at valet, then you must want it to be parked at valet and paid $50. You know what I mean? So it's the same exact place that you're going to, the same exact place that these people are going. The only difference is you want to feel like you're special. And if the customer want to go there and blow his $2,000 and he wants to feel special, then let him feel special. It's not your moment, store owner. It's his moment.
Yep.
Let him enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, another example I have, and I've seen this pretty recently, is like people were saying like people are always trying to get cheap accessories, right? They're trying to get like lightning cables or whatever for $1 a piece, $1.50 a piece, and then they're happy selling them for $5, $10, and they're like, that's like a 200% markup. I can't charge any more than that, otherwise it's highway robbery. I'm screwing over the customer. Like, in what way? Like, and even then, if you're selling cables in a punch bowl at your desk that are like loose for $5, you're presenting them as a $5 value versus paying, let's say you pay $5 or $4.50 or $6 for a decent cable in retail packaging that looks nice. Shout out to Josh Moulton. And you have them on your wall and it looks good and your accessory wall looks good. Now you can charge $29 for that same cable and you're making a much bigger markup. But I've seen
You
people
leave both
say like,
options to the customer, Jason. I
you
have
can
both
have, you
options.
absolutely
Yeah.
can have both options. Yeah. But yeah, exactly. But yeah, when I've seen these people say like it just doesn't feel right charging people $30 for a cable that I bought for $3, and then
No,
I'll
Then go
I'll
ask
get a
still
them how
charge
job.
like
much.
40
They need to
bucks
get they need
for.
to go get a job and go work for someone else because they don't
yeah,
understand. Like they don't have
But
any.
then I'll
No,
ask like,
guaranteed
okay,
they don't
how
have
much are you
employees.
selling screen protectors for? Oh, I sell them for
free.
$20.
I can almost
It's because I
guarantee
should
they
give
don't
them
have
away.
employees. I think if they do have employees, they're probably not paying them a what you quote unquote a livable wage. I can almost guarantee you, if these guys giving away screen protectors and selling charging cables for $5, they probably, if they have employees, they're paying them like $10 an hour. Try paying someone $25 an hour. Give someone an honest wage. Pay someone good
Not
money.
even the wage. I would go commission. If you really
Well, that's
want
what I'm saying. No, but like
Can I talk about
they
the
can't
screen
afford
protector
to
for a
pay
second?
people like something good, but then they complain like, "Oh, I'm going to take advantage of my customers." You're taking advantage of your damn employees and then your spouse. You're screwing over your kids because you can't afford to buy them a damn baseball cap because you're too damn broke because you're charging nothing.
Can
Yeah.
just on the screen protector side. So I think a lot of shop owners and even I look at the screen protectors are like, oh man, but you can get them on Amazon for like $3 or whatever, right? That's how I looked at it too when I was even selling them. But now, as somebody that doesn't work in a shop actively, have you tried to find a screen protector locally for less than $40? Like, I mean, they're that everywhere mainstream sells them for so expensive. Why, as a shop owner, would you not make that same money? I mean, yeah,
The
I know they're on
specialty shop
Amazon for
too.
cheaper, but
And we're
especially
and we're
right after a
installing
repair,
them. We're installing them
Yeah,
for them.
Right, you're
That's the
installing
most
exactly.
it.
important
right
part.
after
It's
a
not,
repair.
we're not just
You're
selling a
considered a
piece of
specialty
glass.
boutique. Yeah,
And
We're
now
considered
installing
and
it
it's
for them. Yeah.
exactly. And it's normally it's right after a repair where they just spent $300 to get their screen fixed. So it's like they don't even want to scratch on the new screen. So it's so easy to sell it to them, where it's just like, hey, I know you just put 300 on this. You know would have saved your screen before is this $50 screen protector, and then it's sold. You don't even really have to sell it. So
And again,
100.
we don't even mention the price unless they ask. We just say, oh, did you want to add a screen protector on that?
Yep.
Yes. Okay, cool. We just add it in. All right, your
The
total's
crazy part, like Dustin
192.
said about Amazon. Like I had a conversation with someone about 2 weeks ago, and he goes, my customer come and they said, I get it on Amazon. I said, I was like, I'm having problems with all my customers doing that. I said, well, number one, they will never be all the customers. Definitely. There are going to be some portion of these customers that always come and say this smart shit. Number two, what do you say? He says, I freeze. I don't know what to tell him. And then he goes, what would you tell him? I said, well, number one, if they order a tempered glass off Amazon, it's a cheaper quality, number one. Number two, and compare it with the cheap quality that you have. It is definitely going to be cheaper than what you have. Two, they're going to have to install that shit on the phone themselves. 9 out of 10 of these people will end up not putting it on there. As I've actually seen it when I worked in stores where a customer come in with a broken phone is like, why would you don't have a tempered glass? Oh, I bought one off Amazon and I tried
Have
to
it
put
at
it
home.
and fucked it up. All of them say that. Number three, customer service. You're giving them customer service. You're giving them an exchange or a refund just in case. You're helping them. That has to cost something. You know what I mean? So a lot of
Yep.
people don't put value on what they do, and when you compare yourself to Amazon, is like, yeah, you can get it for $2 on Amazon. Go get it. Good luck installing it. Even if you're a professional, go. Wait a week, wait a day, wait 2 days. I'm here because you want it now. You know what I mean? Amazon there because you want it tomorrow. You want it delivered today? You paid $9.99 shipping. Yeah, it's probably gonna cost you $2, but you're gonna pay the membership fee and all that kind of shit. If that's what you are, then you're in the wrong place. That's how I argue about it.
We'll even order stuff for customers on Amazon and have them shipped to our stores. Like if they ask if we have a case for a A1552 plus, we'll be like, oh, we don't, but we can get one here for you by tomorrow. Okay, cool. How much is it? We look it up on Amazon. It's $8.99. It's $29. All right, cool. Yeah, let's order it.
Yep.
Outsource. Why not? You know what I mean? Keep sourcing with everyone. You never say no. Like, oh, what is the group is made for? People go in a group, and if you want to close I'll give you an example. Today, one of my stores closed a sale for 2 iPhone 12 Pros and 1 iPhone 12 on a finance. I didn't have any 12 Pros at my warehouse, and neither any of my stores had any 12 Pros. So guess what he did? He goes to Facebook Marketplace and he bought 2 iPhone 12 Pros. Paid $250 each, cheaper than what I would have sold it to him for, and he closed the sale. Sold each one for $400. Made $150 on each device. That's $300 plus $100 on the 12. That's $400 in one transaction. Profit.
Are you not worried about like guarantee IMEI when you like buy a marketplace and then sell it right to the client?
True, but you can check the IMEI. The safest way to check IMEIs is on the carrier website. ATT.com/BYOD. The BYOD. That is the safest, guaranteest way to check IMEIs. So you contact the customer. What carrier is it? It's a Verizon Unlock. Give me the IMEI. Go to Verizon.com/BYOD and put the IMEI. If it says this device is eligible, your chances of it going blacklisted is 1 out of 100.
It's super low.
I was gonna say, I mean, as long as it doesn't show up as locked, for the most part. But I think Verizon's the only one that truly, labels unlocked after 90 days. But I mean, if it's still showing locked, the money's owed on it, right? Like, I mean,
Yeah.
9 times out of 10. Don't get me wrong. There's going to be those AT&T ones you can run through the portal that they just need to be unlocked and they've been paid off. But back to the Amazon comment earlier, actually, it's, a lot of people think that Amazon is a threat, but they're maybe to the certain demographic of your customer base, right? You have to understand that the older generations are still not comfortable with ordering online. They don't want their credit cards online. They're still mailing checks to pay their bills. They're not doing anything online if they don't have to. Like, unless they're forced to, they're not. So you can do the Amazon, like, even if they know it's on Amazon, they rather you just buy it for them. Like you're saying,
Exactly.
ship it to your
Yep.
store and fulfill it for them. You're doing them a solid. Even if you make a minimal margin on it, you did them a favor, and they will remember that. And those are the people that will go out and be like, they were so nice. They ordered me something and like they didn't have to. I could have, I would have done it myself, whatever it was. Like, it's just that much more of a push for that customer that gets that more lifetime value out of it. Like, then they're like, oh, you know what? Actually, I do have a computer that was been acting slow or whatever it is, or my grandkids got me this tablet to FaceTime them, but I don't know how to set it up. And there's just so many different little ways. And rather than just say no, go order it on Amazon and let them leave your store, like, you have to give them a solution no matter what. Like, that's what you're there
You
for,
said
right? Like, go ahead.
you said something very interesting. Sorry, didn't mean to cut you off. You said a demographic of your customers. Too many shop owners act like all the customers are one or the other. That either I'm in an area where all my guys are rich or all my customers are poor. None of them will ever pay 40. Thing is, like, just because let's say we sell screen protectors for 40, 50, $60, depending on the type, right? It does not mean that 100% of my customers are going to pay that. We still have above a 50% attachment rate. We pitch the screen protector. Let's say we pitch a $40 one and they don't want to pay that. I'm willing to we actually have two different options. So we have our ZAG, which is expensive. If they don't want to buy that, I then go down and I'll discount. But if I constantly only offer my screen protectors for 19.99 and half my customers would have paid 40, well, I'm losing money on every single transaction. Just like with the repairs, right? Oh, well, I can't charge 199. The guy down the street's at 129. Yeah, but if you're first on Google and they call you first, price doesn't matter. Just like Jason said, right? Like if they don't ask for the price, like you can, even if they ask for the price, you can move that conversation in such a way. Like for instance, talking about scripting earlier, I have a script for my staff. There's over 12 different scenarios that we have in an A, B, C scenario. Depending on, so customer says this, you say this. And now based on if you said this and they said that, how do you respond? Like how many shop owners have that? If you don't have that, well, then you're losing money every single day on every single phone call. Like I love the fact that your onboarding is really nice with, how you guys mystery shop. So your staff can see this. These are our standards. We set the standards of excellence. This is why we can charge as much as we charge because we are treating the customers with respect. We're giving them options. We have a lifetime warranty. We do what we need to do. But then you go ahead and you call these other shops and they're like, oh, yeah, yeah, phone repair. And like, that's why that guy is cheap. That's why he gives away screen protectors.
And you know what? If I could, I agree with you guys with the scripted. It's good, but as like an employee and a very charismatic, never mind. As somebody that's really outgoing, I can't imagine working for somebody where they're like, hey, you have to go by this script, because I feel like that kind of also breaks the connection of like just having a conversation. So I can see where it's very useful for somebody that they're just like, hey, phone repair, but it limits some employees who are very I don't even know why.
Charismatic.
Yeah,
Charismatic.
So
yeah,
it's more of a structure,
it's a
Dustin. It's
structured
not
guideline.
necessarily
Yeah,
like you have to like look at the script while you're talking to customers. And the more you practice, like Tony was saying, the different scenarios, it becomes second nature. And that's where you get to throw in your personality. So I stole a mantra from Best Buy called Care Plus, and it's from like 20 years ago. And
yeah,
it's contact, ask, recommend, and encourage. And then the plus is you. It's like your character, your personality, and what you give to that transaction in that scenario. So you're still following SOPs, you're still following scripts, but you're not reading off of scripts. It's just like we talked about before. We know that if a customer says, okay, thanks, you need to move that to a different direction. It's not like, oh shit, let me go check my script. Oh, were you thinking about getting like no, it's like you know what to say next. If they say okay, thanks, you ask them about pricing, and that can be in one of many ways, but if you practice the same script over and over, then they kind of get used to like, okay, I need to ask them, are you just shopping around based on price right now? And then you can kind of lead the conversation that way. So it's more of a structure. It's not meant to make the person robotic. You do want them to feel like they can still use their own personality and their own, characteristic traits and all that fun stuff. But they are still following a framework that helps drive sales to the store.
yeah. I agree.
And
It's a
something, hey
framework.
Dustin,
Yeah,
this is something else that I've been in sales for about 20 plus years, and when you go and you watch a movie, those people are actors. They've been practicing a script their entire time. That they But you still believe that they're that character. So, that's another key thing that when working on the script, but you got to practice it and practice it and practice it over and over and over again until it feels like it's second nature to them.
And that's a good point. They have scripts, but most of the time they're improvising off of that script. They're adding their own thing that made them a great actor. And then the director's like, shit, that's great. I would have never thought about putting that into the script. And so a lot of times they're giving their little bonus, which is why they're paid to do what they're doing, to make that script even better. And
Ryan
they're
Reynolds.
they're just building on it.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, I actually saw that. I got that same level of pushback from some employees, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to read." I'm like, "I'm not asking you to read off this. What I'm asking you though is to study it and understand the flow. Like when the customer asks
Yes.
how much is it, I don't want you to actually answer with the price. I need you to ask why, like what's wrong with the phone? What type of, let's verify the model. What's wrong with it? Any other problems? Are you keeping it? Are you trading it in? Like, what's the general vibe of like what is the customer's goal? And then like so many people don't do that. And when the customer is like, oh, it's an iPhone 12 and I'm not trading it in, dude, perfect opportunity. You can sell them a battery, upsell. There's so many opportunities to just educate the customer. But it's crazy how many repair shops also, by the way, another thing is they just not only just sales, but they don't upsell secondary repairs. Talking about why shops fail, they don't make enough money. Come in for a screen repair. Oh, well, I feel bad. It costs so much money. It's like, yeah, dude, the battery life's at 71%. I'm not saying put the battery in there and charge them. But at a minimum, be like, hey, by the way, you should have replaced your battery like a year and a half ago. Has it been bothering you? Oh yeah, I'm finding myself having to plug it in a couple more times a day than I'd like is really annoying. Yeah, I can relate. I understand based on your battery life, man, this thing is much, I would be annoyed. And they go, yeah, yeah, okay, hey, well, normally a battery replacement on this model is 129, but since I already have it open, I don't have to charge you all that labor. It's an extra $50 or whatever the hell it is. We'll get you your brand new battery, get you just like you were back in the day, get you a couple more years out of this phone. Hey, since we're doing all that, let's protect your investment. Let's get you into a case. Let's get a screen protector. Hey, did you know we have insurance? $5 a month covers the screen. Like, it's not hard, but that's a script. That's my script. Just like it's not
Do we
verbatim, but
have
like,
questions from people, Josh?
damn, Tony told me to shut up.
In the Facebook, no, I mean no questions have really been on the Facebook side. Like there's been a couple on like our chat here that have been answered, but nothing on the Facebook side.
We hope that this could help people. Like we really want to help people. As we all believe that everybody should be successful, and we see, a lot of people said, you made it, you this, you that, about all of us. But there's reasons on why we became maybe the best at what we do, is because we took advices, we learned from our own mistakes. I'll give you a mistake that I've learned from my own. Maybe 2014, after 2 years of opening our retail store, somebody left a bad review, and I lashed back at the reply, and I started saying,
How did that work out for you?
yeah, I got 3 more bad reviews.
Yep. That's
And
expected.
the 3 bad reviews were like, we were going to this place, but after reading his replies, we don't want to do anything.
They gave bad reviews based on a bad review.
So
Love it.
now what we do is, and believe it or not, I actually reply to all the bad reviews and good reviews out of my own comfort zone here. And with the bad ones, I reply, thank you for your feedback. We appreciate you, blah, blah, blah. We apologize for any inconvenience, I make it short as possible and say, hey, here is my direct phone number. Please call me and give us a chance to try to make this right. Boom,
Yeah.
done. That is the ultimate reply for a bad review. Nothing more, nothing less. A good review, thank you for your business. We hope to see you again. So
If you even reply.
Done.
I think a 1-star review is probably better than 55 stars. If you
Amen.
address a corrupt,
I'll give you an
people are like, oh,
example.
can you report this review? I don't want it. No, bro. Like every time we get a 1-star, I respond. I always hear people come in saying, yo, I came in
Yep.
because of how you responded.
Yep.
That guy's an asshole.
It's funny, it's in
Yep,
every
same here,
industry
same here.
too, man. It's in every industry. So
Yeah.
3 Sundays ago, and this is cell phone related, but it's a review related. 3 Sundays ago, there was a customer that came into the restaurant. Luckily for us, we got 4.8 reviews, and we got like maybe 5 or 6 bad reviews. Maybe most of them are overeats because they were late. So
That's
the
amazing
food
for
is
a
good.
restaurant.
Yeah. So the crazy part about it, we got a bad review 3 weeks ago from a guy that he actually went on a Facebook group, and he lashed and he started saying horrible, don't go there. The reason why, this person did not find a place to pray. He couldn't find enough space for him to go to the back and pray. Now, it is a halal restaurant, which means you're going to get a lot of Middle Eastern people. So the guy left a bad review because he didn't find no place to pray. Now, he posted that on a group. That post got about 150 comments. Maybe about 135 comments were saying, this is wrong. You can't leave them a bad review on such and such and such. That same day, I called my chef, maybe like 9 p.m., asked him, how many people did you get from this post? He said 17 customers came to the business because of my reply. Like my reply got almost about 76 likes and loves of the way I replied to them. We apologize for the inconvenience, It's a 1,200 square feet location that is made out of a kitchen, blah, blah, blah. So my reply was like, not in your face. My reply was like, we apologize for the inconvenience that you felt that way. We went back to the cameras. He even asked the girl to lower down the music. So it was a Sunday, the manager was off, and the computer system is inside the office where he has the key to. So the girl like very politely said, "I'm sorry, sir. My manager is off. I have no access to the office." And he says, "Sure, no problem." And he goes and sit down and eat. But from that review, we got 17 new customers. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's just the way you reply to these people. Is like, how many times have I replied back angry, and then when I get to the
And you
bottom of
delete
it, I'm
it.
like, "Fuck, I delete that shit."
Yeah.
Every time.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
why
there's
on
so many
Yelp, if
times
you get
on
a bad
Facebook that
review,
I reply and I do the same
Yeah.
shit.
yeah, whenever you get a bad review on Yelp and you go to hit reply, it immediately says like, "Are you sure you want to reply right now? I recommend taking some time to think about this first." And
That's
you're like, "All
funny.
right, fuck, maybe I should."
That's why I literally will just take out a Google Doc and just type out whatever I'm feeling because you
Yep.
don't want to accidentally hit send. I want to just like give it my all, get that
Yeah.
that frustration out, and then you do it. But yeah, no, it's like again, those guys that go in the groups and go, "Oh, please report this 1 star. This guy was an asshole." Like, embrace it. It's part of life. That
And
can
in
turn into money.
99% of those cases, they earned that review 100%.
Yeah, let's be real. But like you can turn it into a money making opportunity. But the
You
fact is,
can, for sure.
I think you can kind of summarize this entire call with mindset, right? We all have the same mindset of hustle, provide adequate value to your customers, good value, be there, take care of them, do what you need to do, take care of your business, take care of your staff, charge enough so you can pay them well, do a good work, earn those 5 stars. If you got a 1 star, handle it. Like take that, embrace the fact that yeah, you may have screwed up, your staff may have screwed up. But then the other people that are complaining, like refuse to take accountability. Like they don't want to, like, oh, I don't want that 1 star. Like, well, did you deserve it?
Almost
Was it real?
99% of the people that leaves bad review, they just want a hug. That's it. Like they really want like, I'm sorry, that's all they want. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like they just want, like they really either want to bring it to your attention or they're really just frustrated about how they had you on a very high expectation and now you treated them this way. There is 1% that are assholes. That, I'm not gonna leave those out of it, but you can't change the world. You can change how you reply. You know what I mean? And I think it's very important if we are business owners, we really need to handle ourselves very, right, like stable, and that's what makes us different from others. But it is what it is. Bill, Jeremy.
Yeah. Jeremy's
What's funny is
deciding.
like we're dropping the people who need to hear this call will likely never hear this call.
Yeah, 100%. I
Yeah.
mean,
I do find a lot of the people who are just like asking like what's wrong with this industry, blah blah blah. They're not doing the things that need to be done, and it's usually because they're so caught up in what they're doing on a store level because they are owner operators for the most part, and they're just like trying to find out why they're not getting more customers, but they're not actually going out and doing those things because they don't want to be away from their shop. But I've told people before, like I would gladly close my shop for a day and go visit 10, 15 carriers and drop off cards and
Yeah.
start building relationships. Like that one day of visits will give you months of returns. Like we finally just got this. Yeah, years. You're right. We finally just got this T-Mobile that's been semi-local to us, but there was a repair shop like right across the street from them. That repair shop closed like a year ago. I visited them twice since then. The first time I went, and I have a really good approach to things, but they like sniffed me out right away. They're like, "No, we don't do this kind of thing with repair shops." I'm like, "All right, cool. Like, if there's anything I can ever help you guys with, let me know." Came back like 3 weeks ago and completely new team as usual. And I introduced myself. I never walk in with cards. I just walk in by myself. I'm like, "Hey, it's a really cool store. Hey, my name is Jason. Every now and then I get customers that need an upgrade and we just can't provide it here. Would you mind if I send you some of those customers?" I try to send customers that are like local to their area. So, I work with T-Mobiles on this side of town and this side of town, but I don't have one where you guys are at. And would it be okay if I send you guys more business? 100% of the time, they're going to be like, "Oh, yeah, that's great. What do you do? Like, what's your name? Where are you from? Do you have any cards?" They're asking me for cards. So we finally just got this T-Mobile like 3 weeks ago. They've probably sent me 30 customers since then, and they're texting me like, bro, we need more cards. And so like we hooked them up on Black Friday. We just catered them lunch, Jersey Mike's for the day because they've been hooking us up so much. Spent like $100 on them.
Awesome.
It's like most places, a lot of people would not think to go those routes because they don't feel like they have the $100 to spend, or they don't have the time to get out of the shop because things are just always stacking up. They're always behind. And even when it's slow, they wouldn't think to just close the store and go hit the pavement for even a couple hours to just go visit some of these places to build those relationships that will just be long lasting. So,
Dude,
yeah.
You know what we
exactly.
started doing?
That right there, what he just said about closing down your shop, even just for a couple hours, right? Like, this isn't like, hey, take a week off and go do this. Like, closing your store for that couple hours, the same as what you talked about, like going into that store, like it's going to like it's going to make such a lasting impression on whoever you go to. So I'm friends with the guy, my friend runs this repair shop I'm in the back of in the office, whatever. Like that's what he does. Like he's the only one who runs this. He does everything on his own. So that's what he does. He'll shut it down, say I'm closed for 2 hours, and he'll go around doctor's office, dentist office, not even just the carriers, right? Think about places that he loves computer repairs, and computer repairs are just great. Like those are awesome. Those are always purely profit. He goes to these places that are going to have multiple computers, but then the employees obviously have families. So now only the employees are like, oh, you fix stuff? We got 2 broken iPads at home, or we got a computer at home. Like it just trickles down from the business aspect, right? You're not even just getting the business customer, you're getting the employees that you interact with on that point of like, oh, you do this too. It's like there's just so much more to it. And that goes so much further than just like sitting here doing nothing. If you're slow and there's nobody coming in, what other way are you going to get people to come in your door besides going out to find those people and to interact with them, introduce yourself, just like you said, my name's Jason, I have this, we do this, and like you give them a reason why you're there, and
Yeah.
then turn back around and just be like, yeah, and I do this, and if you guys ever have anybody that needs that kind of work, I would really appreciate it if you guys would send those people to me. And it's we work both ways. It just
Yep.
blows my mind nobody takes the time to do it and thinks that they're so busy or they don't have time for it, or we can't shut our store down because we might miss a customer. You might miss a customer, but how many people are you going to get in that 2 hours that are going to be more than just that one walk-in customer you lost? That's a lifetime value of multiple customers you're putting an impact on by going to visit these places in person, introducing yourself. They're putting a face with a name now. They feel more comfortable. Like it just brings a more of a connection there. I don't know, like it just blows my mind that people don't do that. But then again, it's almost 2025 and we still have people not locking devices up at night in their stores with
Mm.
posts every week about my store got broken into. And I'm sorry for people that this happens to. I'm not, making fun of anybody, but like how many times does it have to happen for you to realize that like,
What is
hey,
rock bottom? Like,
what do I yeah.
what is rock
Yeah.
bottom? You know what I tried recently for the past maybe 2 weeks? I was added, and this probably works for multi-door stores. I was added to one of my regional managers have a group for like marketing and motivations. So out of 6 locations, I was added to that group. And I actually give them a report of sales every like 2 to 3 hours, and I like mess with their head. You know what I mean? They're like, oh, who's winning? Oh, Jesse is killing it. You know what I mean? Oh, Rosie, you're on fire today. Like if I like seriously, since it started, we out of these 14 locations, we operate 6. So out of 6 locations, they were number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? Since I started, number 6 is now number 3, and number 5 is now number 2, and number 4 is now number 1 in sales. So like the weak stores right now booming in sales because these guys, all they needed was somebody just to mess with their head and tell them, oh man, you're on fire. Like blow them up. Like tell them, it's
Yep.
your day. Let's see what you're gonna do. Let's do finance. And it worked. For the past 2 weeks, I've seen at least a 30-40% increase in all the stores
That's
that
awesome.
we've seen in the past. and remember this, and everybody can agree with me. These are the worst 12 days that we've ever had in a December, maybe that I can remember. Like it's been the slowest 12 days everywhere in the US in a December that I've seen. So many people are complaining. Other businesses too that I've talked to. It's been a very bad start for December, but in return, I've actually seen an increase. And I was one of the people in the past videos used to come on here and said, you know, we're having problems with employees and employees are not the same. And, you know, we're having problems with stores that we're operating ourselves with regular employees. But I've realized, okay, I haven't tried everything. Let me try this one last thing and try to pump him up. You know what I mean? And I guess they just want to get pumped up. It takes a little extra work, but I don't have to be there. And all it takes is just a message on WhatsApp group that you're just pumping up these employees. And it works.
Yes, sir.
Yep. And Robert
Yeah.
Miranda, oh, go ahead. You go.
No, go ahead. I was gonna shift gear. So
Okay. So I was just gonna like on that, like about pumping people up. Robert's a great person in this side of things too. Like him and his team, they have whiteboards where they just write down goals. Everybody kind of writes down individual goals, team goals for the week or the month, whatever it is, and they keep track of everything. So it's transparent for everybody, but like it gets them excited. It just keeps the morale and the culture good within the space. And if you have multiple employees, that's like obvious. That's the most important thing is the culture within your business. If you're a single operator, then that's, you know, a little bit different, right? I mean, you should still have your goals, you should still have the same you know, thing going for you, but whenever it's a team, it's more of about building and, you know, being a leader and showing everybody what they need to do. And he's done a good job at that from, you know, conversations I've had with him. So if he's watching or does watch this, shout out Robert. But I'm gonna let Jason go on to switching his gears now.
I like that. I like that. I was just gonna build on to like what we were talking about before, as far as like reaching out to other businesses and vendors and stuff like that. You know, we constantly see like, oh man, a U-Break I Fix just opened down the street. I'm screwed. What should I do? Like, can they really open that close to me? Man, U-Break I Fix sends us over 10% of our business right now, and we track it. And they literally send us 10% of our business. And it all started because I went over and did the exact same thing that I do with carriers. I'm like, hey, we're down the street. You guys ever need parts or anything like that? Like, just hit us up. We'll happily share some parts. And if you ever need help on a repair, you know, we started doing advanced repairs. So if you guys need help with anything, I have 2 devices checked in from them right now for B2B. But over the years, they changed ownership a bunch of times, and eventually we have a district owner who's owning the one that's close to us now, and he owns 5 U-Break iFix stores. So now he's sending us a ton of business and a ton of B2B stuff. But there's so much, like, I always tell people, like, the one thing I see people doing is it's slow, and they hop on. They're like, "Hey, who does Google Ads? Who does SEO? Who does this and that?" And like they want to throw money at the problem immediately. And I've been in multi-million-dollar companies that do that as well, and it doesn't always work to just throw money at a problem. Sometimes you have to actually figure out what the problem is and fix it. So, yeah, with that U-Break I Fix relationship, they're constantly sending us work, and they spend a ton of money for advertising, and you don't have to spend that. Like, they're directing all the business to their stores. T-Mobile, Verizon, AT&T, they're spending millions of dollars in advertising. Let them spend the money in ads, get those customers into their store, build that relationship with them, and then have them redirect it to you. You're now using their ad spend to get more customers into
They're
your
gonna have
store.
a meeting because you said that shit. They're gonna have a
No,
meeting and they're gonna stop that shit.
I love the fact that you're talking about this because probably 4 hours ago I was on a call with a client and I literally verbatim talked about you because I knew you've done that with the UBIS. I was like, look, I was like, don't be scared to walk into the UBIF and be like,
Yeah.
hey, look, I don't know if you guys offer, you know, just however you got to build that relationship with him. I was like, I know a guy who gets tons of business from UBIF and he's a competitor of theirs, but like there's ways to work together and you find that perfect mesh. And
You know, it's
yeah,
funny that you can have employees going in there. Like one day these guys quit. At least they come to you first.
Yep. Dude, I'm hanging out in the back of their shop like once a month. I'm just
Yeah.
back there. Like I get to see how they organize all their parts. I get to
See,
see all their service packs and like how their relationship with Samsung is working. They're keeping me up to date on all the stuff that they do with Samsung with all the OEMs. So I'm informed on what they can and can't do.
I think
Like we have
it's a people's people thing, man. It's networking.
it
A lot of people have a
it
problem
is.
with networking.
It is,
People are
but you know
too
what?
scared.
People
Yep.
are scared to do that, but the only way you get over that is by doing it. Like if
Yeah.
it's the same way when we were like trying to find that right person in our life, right? You're gonna get rejected a million
Yeah.
times, but if you don't try, you're never
Man,
gonna meet somebody.
there,
So
there's no one else more than me that was rejected, bro. These people don't know nothing about rejection. I didn't speak no English, no habla inglés, zero when I came to this country. So look where I'm at. Even if I misspelled shit, even if I say the wrong shit, confidence. You know what I
yeah,
mean? So what
yeah,
these guys know about you, this is your language, this is your country, this is what you do for a living. I'm not even a technician, and I'm confident to go out there and talk about repairs. It's
yeah.
just how confident you are, you know. It's okay to be wrong, you know, but it's okay to, you know, to be corrected and accepted. You know what I mean?
I don't think
Yeah,
it's
I'll tell people like
necessarily. You go ahead. You're good.
I was just gonna say I'll tell people if you're scared of rejection, go to the shitty shops first. Go to the places that you won't care if you get their business or not. Like go to the doctor offices, go to the small business first, just to like get the jitters out, get your wiggles out, and start getting a good speech going, good elevator speech. So that way, when you do visit the carriers, you do visit the U-Break iFixes, you've already gone to 25, 50 other stores. You know what you said that turned people off right away and kicked you out of the store, and you know what conversations you've had that have worked really well and started building trust with people. And then the last thing I was going to say is like we started doing like I mean this is something I do personally. I don't really even tell my team about it, but I do like local give backs. And what I mean by that is like I'm in a bunch of these local Facebook groups. And anytime I see an opportunity to give back to the community, I'll try to take that opportunity. So one of the ones was like the preschool thing that we did recently where I
Yeah.
saw that my son's preschool were doing like local field trips. And I was like, dude, that's so awesome. They went to a bakery and they got to learn like about the bakery. They got to go in the back of the bakery. And I just messaged them on Instagram. I'm like, man, that'd be so cool if we visited South Bay Mobile Repairs one day. And they hit me up. They're like, hey, if you're serious about this, we can do it. I'm like, yeah, that'd be awesome. And so it took like maybe 3 hours out of the day. I just lost my AirPods, but it took like 3 hours out of that one day. And it cost us like $125. But we got 24 pre-K kids in here. All of their parents knew where they were going for the day. All of the teachers knew where they were going for the day. They posted 4 different 20 photo and video Instagram posts. So they posted 80
Fuck yeah.
pictures of
Yeah.
my shop, and everybody who follows the preschool's Instagram got to see it. All of the kids are calling me boss now whenever I go pick up my son. But it was like such a good thing to just give back to the community. But like
Mhm.
obviously there's always a selfish aspect of that as well. It's to get your name out there. It's to like continue building the brand, continue building the business.
We've done it with the restaurant. We just sponsored a soccer team that costed
Yeah.
us $1,100, and we've got that week alone. We got about $1,300 worth of fathers and mothers and kids going to Holy Fry. So we've got our money in the first week,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
and now
Yeah.
it says Holy Fry on their jerseys and all.
Nice.
One good example of the same same caliber is Tushan, for example, does the backpack stuff, for his local community where they load the backpacks up with supplies and they give them away to people that need them. There's plenty of different ways to do it, and I think that at the end of the day, I think there's a very small portion of this industry that has just enough extrovert in them to get out and do these things, right? Like we are a very introverted type of industry. It's very niche down to where the guys who are running the businesses are not the guys who are going on, again, how many more people would be on these calls? Like you said earlier, like people who are watching these are like, who would be on there if they wanted to improve or do what, anything that they're doing. So for me, like the introvert aspect is you have to jump past it and just stop caring, right? Like everybody's just like scared. If you're running the shop or running a business already, you're dealing with customers. You've already
Yeah, that's true.
overcome all of those, awkwardnesses. So now it's just like getting out in front of people. And that's what it kills me about the guys who do run the shops. And it's like they still won't go to the carriers or they still won't go to these offices. It's like, what do you like? How is this different than them walking in your door? You go walk in their door at this point and introduce yourself. Like you've already broken that gap. You deal with customers every day. Retail, while it's a different demon in itself of dealing with people, flip the script and go and turn it on people, and it changes your whole perspective as a business owner, even, right?
Yeah.
Like then you're putting yourself into the shoes of like, okay, now I need to go tell people what I do and convince them of why they should come to me or whatever it is. But like you're saying, going to these groups and just get involved with the community. Is it a flea market? Is it something going on where you can put up a little booth for the one day or weekend or whatever and just maybe demo doing something, taking apart a phone, having broken phones on your table, not even necessarily doing a repair, but just be out there talking to people. Hey, here's some 20% off coupons we're handing out during this event. It's anything that you can do just to be involved with your community is huge. It's free advertising almost. And even if you got to pay a little bit to have a booth or whatever it is, way cheaper than doing anything else.
Is
And that's
is
what,
is the reason why a lot of us became store owners because we don't want to be bossed around, or what is the main reason? Like that's because if you I think a lot of people are in their comfort zone. You know what I mean? And when I say in their comfort zone, they're not people.
yeah.
And that's why I always say a lot of us are technicians, not sales guys.
Yeah, 100%. You're right there. Like that, most of the guys who started the businesses are the guys that don't do the upfront, dealing with customers. Once they get to that level of having that employee, they're like, yeah, that's the first thing you're offloading, right? Like these guys don't want anything to do with most of the customer dealing with that front end
That's why they don't
aspect.
want to sell accessories and
Yeah,
phones because when a
exactly.
customer handed in the repair, they go to the back room, fix it, hand it to them, have a nice day. They don't even want to talk to you.
Yeah, most awkward experience you could
Yes.
have for sure is that like
No
guy who
music in the
just
store, nothing. You could hear your
yeah.
stomach rumble.
There's that pause of like, should I
Yeah,
ask them if they want that screen protector, or should I ask them if they need that case, or whatever. I
it's
do want
like
to
that.
go back up. Jason, somebody did ask Noor. I hope I pronounced his name right.
It's no, yeah.
Yeah, asked about how often you visit the carrier stores. Monthly, I assume, or biweekly.
So, so turnover is super high. I mean, a great time to visit is when you're dead, when you're slow, because you have nothing to do anyway. You might as well do it. Even if you did it 2 weeks ago, find new carriers or just go back and say hi.
Yep.
Um, but typically once every 3 months on a minimum, because turnover is very high. Focus changes from the team themselves. They have their own initiatives. They couldn't give a shit about what your initiatives are, you know? They run out of your slips. Like sometimes you think like, oh, they're probably only giving out one every week, but some of them are killing it and they're passing out 25 in the first day. If you gave them 25 and then they're out, well, that's 3 months of them not passing out flyers. So you got to go
Yes.
back and see like, hey, how's everything going? And then I keep a Google Doc and I actually write down like who I visited, what the date was, the name of the person, the title of the person, what I gave them, if it was just cards, if I gave them cookies, where I got the cookies from, like
What
literally
is what
every
is the
detail.
percentage of your business that comes from this
Dude,
hustle? I would consider
I'd
it a hustle.
say I'm pretty confident to say 30 to 40% of my business comes from that. And it's very clear because I know all of the other competitors in my area do not do this, and their sales are 50% of what we're doing. And
Nice.
it just goes
Yeah,
to
you
show
and I
like,
spoke. I mean, we've talking about your numbers, and you do pretty good for only doing the repairs. You know what I mean?
yeah,
Really good.
I mean, those customers have to go somewhere, right? So if the carriers don't know where to send them, and a lot of them will be like, "Oh yeah," like I'll ask them like, "Oh, where do you typically send people?" "Oh, we don't really have any place to send them." So then you're just leaving it up to chance, and
Yeah, because they
hopefully
don't
that
want to
customer
stick their
finds
neck
you.
up for a
They
like they
don't,
want
but
to
if
send you
you
somewhere else,
visit
and the
them and
customer's
they
gonna
know
come
you're a
back to
good,
them and tell them you send me to this
exactly.
bad place. You know, so they'd rather not send them anywhere.
So that's again why it's super important that you have great structure, you have good reviews because they're going to look that stuff up. They want to. All of these places are based on great customer service, right? That's like number one to all of these retail places. And so if they know that you have matching ethics and matching customer support and all that, they're going to feel confident because it's going to feel like you're an extension of them. versus like sending to random Joe guy down the street and you have no idea how service is going to be. You're absolutely right. That person's going to go back to George at AT&T and be like, yo, why the fuck are you sending people here? This guy like barely speaks English, or like any of this stuff like does matter. Or he speaks in a super low tone of voice, or he had a terrible warranty. I got a screen fixed and 2 weeks later it blacked out and he said, oh, sorry, our warranty doesn't cover that. Like all that stuff matters. It's not just about getting the
You know
sale.
what's so
You have to
crazy?
be able to follow through on that relationship.
People will actually pay mentors and people out there to say the shit that you're saying right now for free. Honestly, swear to
That's what I
God.
was 100%. Like, there's so much stuff on like all these calls in general, right? Like, I mean, just even like I commented on the Facebook Live earlier, and I'm like, you guys need to shout out Nathan, because Nathan is a killer business owner. What he does, most shops wouldn't even fathom, right? Like, he's crushing it, and he lurks behind the scenes. He's kind of in the groups, but the dude is absolutely murdering it in his shops. Been a client of ours for a long time. Like, I know we've had some pretty good relationships with him, but like just the stuff he talked about in general, like how to work with customers using the customer database, like that alone, 99% of none of these people, even who aren't even watching, but the ones who are watching, nobody's thinking of doing stuff like that. Nobody's running drip campaigns. Nobody's collecting all this information all the time. Had a call with a client like a month or two ago. And up to that point, they had basically ran their shop, which was a very good, I mean, fairly, let's say 40 to $60,000 monthly on three shops, average, like per store. They were not even collecting all the customer information. They were essentially just treating it as a convenience store. They were just checking people out, right? Like they weren't even collecting this information thinking there was value to utilize a phone number or an email and a name and an address, whatever it may be. So how many people out there are not even collecting just that information, right? Like how many are out there just truly when they're checking somebody in, no matter what, I don't care if it's a CPR, a UBIF, whatever brand it is, whatever store it is, I have a feeling that 75% of people, probably higher, are only collecting a first name, last name, and a phone number.
I'm one of them. My stores are one of them. Yeah, we are. We definitely are one of them. That's
and
14 stores right there.
It's not like a dig on anybody, because a lot of people, I think, look at it as the aspect of, I don't want to ask you for too much information, or if I have to type it in, then I feel like, oh, am I going to type it right?
Okay, let me ask you a question, a legal question. I don't know. So you're saying basically they can collect the email and phone number, blah blah blah, right? And if there's a promotion, you can actually text him, correct? I'll give you a funny story. 2019, we got sued by a customer that received a text message, and we had to settle for a small amount, but he had a lawyer out of Miami, and he was a customer. He purchased something, and I don't usually, when a customer purchases something, we don't take any information. But when they do repairs, we do take phone number, name, and whatever, right? That's about it. So, but it looks like that customer purchased something, and he got a text message. We've done it once with our POS system. We've sent a mass message saying Christmas sale, blah, blah, blah. That was 2019. Customer sued us a month later, hired a lawyer tried to get all the database that we had. It was like a fucking nightmare with one of those Miami customers. I mean, one of those Miami lawyers. And since then, we're like, is it legal, illegal, gray area? What is it?
So, MS actually had a similar situation where they had a mass text go out like that. And I don't think it was actually even purposely sent in the method it was, but that similar situation where, people went after him because it's like, hey, and it came at a weird time, right? It wasn't even like business hours, right? It's good, right? Like it's legal, but I think it's a matter of ensuring that you are asking the questions. Is it okay? And I don't know. And every state, I guess not state. I think it's a federal thing. But I mean, I think it's how you're approaching it from the customer standpoint of just saying, okay, we're taking your information in. We're taking your phone number and your email. would you like to receive marketing updates for
But
us,
that was
right? Like,
verbally. That was
yeah.
verbally.
But then you can have if you have cameras, you should be able
That
to go
would
back
go
on it.
6 months behind. That's the problem. And we
Yeah, and
had that
there's
exactly.
also some states where you can't record audio.
I
Well, we
know, and
can, and
that's
we
why I'm
have you
saying
have to
this.
just state it
I
out
mean,
there. And we've been
the
through that,
easiest
and we
way
told the
is
lawyer we
to
had a video of him agreeing on it, but the cameras that we had did not have any sound at that time, and it just went sideways.
And like you
the
said, the
easiest way is
audio.
you have to have people opt in. Like
Yeah,
there are opt in
they
and
have
opt out
to.
laws in most states. So if you have a simple like if you can include it on your form somewhere and on the bottom you just say we're collecting your email address just to be able to send
That's
you
what
some
we did after we
communications.
got the
Yeah,
lawsuit.
but
At the end of the
so,
receipt, we said the information above will be used for marketing reasons.
yeah,
Customers does once like saying that the customer has their information on this receipt. If they do, that means they agreed. So we put that at the bottom of the receipt after we got
yeah,
sued.
and that's like any website you go to right now, any e-commerce website you go to. At the very end, it's automatically check mark, right? Like you have to uncheck mark it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, I don't want to receive your text or emails, whatever. And like, so that's their way of like, secretly getting you to opt in without you paying attention, because a lot of people automatically think those check boxes are for like, I agree to
You're
terms and
agreeing.
services.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well,
Exactly.
did you
So
hear
people
about
are
the
like, oh
lady
yeah,
that died in Disney World? And okay, so this lady and her
oh
husband was
yeah,
at Disney
the Disney
World,
Plus, the Disney
and
Plus.
she got
Yeah.
poisoned at
Yep.
a restaurant, or she was allergic to something where she ate it and she died. Okay,
But she agreed to the
so
iCloud terms and conditions.
Yeah.
well,
So
she
she
Yep.
agreed
became
to the
Yep.
a
iCloud
human
of
centipede
the
app.
Disney Plus app as a trial 4 years ago. Did not even register. She agreed, and in that agreement said, "I cannot
Wow.
sue Disney
Yep.
no matter what the
Or
fuck
anything.
happens."
Yep. So,
And
so
done.
it's funny that you say that. So today I got a notification in Meta, Facebook, that said like, oh, we've updated our terms of service. So I was curious. I went and like selected all, threw it into Chat GPT, and I was like, hey, it's like, what is there anything in this terms of service that I should be concerned about, like privacy wise, whatever? And it kind of gave like a breakdown of some stuff that was like, yeah, you should be worried about like X, Y, and Z, but like I was just listening to, and this is an older episode of a podcast with Theo Vaughn and Joe Rogan, but they were talking about like terms of services and how like most people just, we're just automatically inclined to like, who the fuck's reading that, right? Like nobody's
It's
reading it.
not
They
in
make
plain
it
English
long.
anyways, even if you did
You
Yeah,
want to read it.
you agree
yeah.
to come and shove my
You,
foot up your ass? Yes, I
yeah,
do.
you got to be a
We gotta
lawyer
watch
to
that
sit
South
there and
Park
read
episode.
it. And it's like you agree to so much stuff, but like the one that stood out to me in this latest update with Meta was like, no matter what, everything that you have on Meta, as like your profile, your business, whatever, no matter what, even if you get rid of your accounts, they own all of the data. Like they
Wow.
own it, you don't. And I've always told people, like, I've never been a big fan of people building a massive community on Facebook, because at Tony, the conversations we've had, like, firsthand, you are relying on Facebook to be there and not shut you down, and all of the data is on Facebook, nowhere else. So that community is fucking gone. And they decide, hey, we're shutting your group down. It's gone.
Yeah, yeah.
Eighty
Well,
thousand
in
people
reality,
gone.
if I didn't have that backup, I would have lost $175,000 a year
Yeah,
from
that's
a
what I'm
Facebook
saying.
group.
Yep. And
That's
it's
it.
like we're relying on them being there, but then it's so hard to get somebody off of this platform, right? Like everybody is just so stuck on this. You have to have a group. If you try to do a Slack or a Discord or something along those lines, a school,
And everything
it's
is
so
AI
hard.
right now. Everything is AI.
Everybody's just like, I don't know, I don't use this. I'm always on Facebook. Like they've
Yeah.
made it such a priority in people's lives that if it's not on Facebook or one of these main platforms, you're just an inconvenience for people.
It's like
Like
when you
that's
go
what
to the
you are.
shows and you meet someone, his damn profile picture is a dog, and he's like, "Hey man, it's Jason." All right, which Jason is it? Oh, the dog guy. Okay, that's all I know how you look like. Like I'm talking to 100 persons a day, and their profile is either before they gained 200 pounds or they were like 17. Like, how am I
Yep.
supposed to know? But that's why I like the expos, and that's why I like to meet people, and that's why I like to see videos like this because I put myself out there. You know what I mean? When you see me, you know who I am. You know what I mean? I represent my company, I represent myself, and I'm in it to win it. You know what I mean? This is the way, this is my direct source of income. So I have to give it all. You know what I mean? I have to give it all.
Definitely. Well, we are
Guys see me
closing
in
in on the
Miami,
5 p.m.
when you see me in Miami, I'm gonna be six-pack guys and all
Yeah.
that.
All
Yeah,
right.
let's go.
We got 5 months, Tony. Challenge
Oh,
is on.
I've been going. Hey, man, I'm doing really good. You should see me.
Nice
Since
work.
last time
Hey,
we've been in Vegas, a lot changed.
you can do anything you put your mind to. So I set a goal at the beginning of 2024 to teach myself to do a backflip. And I completely forgot about it until this week. And yesterday I found an open gymnastics gym and I went with a buddy, and in 2.5 hours I taught myself to do a backflip. I'm in
No
so much
shit.
Hell
pain right now,
yes.
but it's on
That is
it's on my Instagram. I don't know if you guys follow me on Instagram,
hell
but
yeah.
The
I'm gonna
reason
check it
why I
out.
chose
That's
to lose
awesome.
weight and to go to the gym is to fit my clothes. Every time I damn buy $150 pants, that shit doesn't fit 2 months later. And I got so many
Thank you.
brand new pants that cost so much
Yep.
money that I'm
Yep.
pissed off about.
Yep. Hey, same. I've lost at least 30 pounds since I've seen you in
Yeah,
August,
really.
actually.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
were out there.
Trust me, I know. I was the highest I've ever been, but
We're
yeah.
we're knocking on 40s, man. We're not getting younger.
No,
yes,
no.
Yeah.
sir. We all have that one
I'm
half of our
well.
closet that we don't use.
Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, we better be ready for Miami, bro.
Exactly. All right,
Yep.
guys. Well, let's wrap it
Yep.
up. Appreciate you guys joining, having a good
We'll
conversation.
probably do another one just before Christmas and then just let them roll after that, maybe, right?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, we'll go next week for sure. I'll try to come up with a topic, or if anybody's got some ideas, shoot them over to me.
Why don't you put a
And
poll out there or
I
just
will.
yeah, let's see what they and I want to use that topic maybe to talk about it at the expo, like to elaborate more at the
Yeah,
speech. Yep.
yeah. I mean, we can use a lot of data from these calls to see like what is good that people are still wanting to hear about to utilize
Okay.
stuff for like that for the stuff there. But yeah, I'll put up a poll and we'll go from there. But yeah, next week and then yeah, after the holidays, it'll probably be after the first of the year. We'll probably hop back in. So try to line
Sounds
up
good.
some more people to speak on some topics.
Yep. Sounds good. All right.
All
Appreciate
It's
you
right,
been a
guys.
thanks,
pleasure,
guys.
guys.
Yep.
Yeah,
Stay
have a good
safe.
one.
Have a good one.
See
Talk
you
to
later.
you. Mhm.